Thank you for saying that. I totally echo what you're saying. And I'm also curious too, as medical professionals, with all the news we keep hearing about vaccines that are rolling out, does this speed up the timeline at all? Like, does that now that vaccines are seeming to be coming out, does that maybe even make it look like it's really possible September, potentially with vaccines that are coming out? Or what are your guys' thoughts about that?
Well, I would hope that that will expedite the reopening process. However, um, the main doctor in charge of the coronavirus in the entire United States, Dr. Fauci, he did say last week that even with a vaccine, we're still going to need to continue all of the existing social distancing public health measures. So it was a little bit disheartening to me when I heard him say that, because he's saying that this vaccine will not um, prevent you from getting coronavirus. The vaccine will prevent you from having severe symptoms of the coronavirus. And so, even if there is a vaccine, even if you are vaccinated, you can still pass it on to other people.
Would
So that
would
was
that
just
would
recently last weekend when he said that.
Yeah, because one of the things that has made the most sense to me about all of this is definitely the idea that even though kids might be I'm like patting my chest like I'm a kid, even though young people might be, not, it might not be as great of a risk for health problems. They have family that might be and grandparents they live with, so it's really about a whole community
Mhm.
purpose behind that. But if a vaccine comes out and there's, let's say, a student has a grandma at home who's 80 and has health problems, would the grandma want to take the vaccine and then the grandma would be safe? Or would you not want to give the grandma the vaccine? Because again, like you said, it doesn't necessarily prevent you from getting it. You know what I mean? Like, is the vaccine meant for vulnerable populations?
I think initially it is most designed for vulnerable populations, but I think it is grandma's choice and your family's decision whether or not you guys want to do it. So I don't really want to impose a yes or no, because I think that everyone has a right to choose what they do with their body.
Yeah, I think too, echoing on that with Lily is, that's a talk that you need to have with your primary care physicians and see, how your health is and, how you're doing and stuff like that. And I concur with Lily that it's about the choice of the person.
And if you get a vaccine, if you don't get a vaccine, we support you and your decisions, and we still want you to come back to school as soon as the governor will let us.
Yeah. I think in the broad thing of like Mr. Webb, what you're talking about is, will we get back to school? Lily and I hope so. Would we love you all to be back to school tomorrow? Absolutely, because we miss all of you. Again, it's all about safety. Will it look like it used to in the past? Probably not. There'll be some changes, but they won't be so severe changes that you still won't be able to have a successful middle school and that you still won't be able to see your friends and stuff like that. And it's ever evolving. The whole thing is evolving for all of us. But again, we want you to keep, like Lily said too, we want you to keep the lines of communication open. And if you're feeling down or you have some questions or whatever, call Lily or call Mr. Webb or call Miss Hanson and talk to them about it. That's even the other day I was kind of feeling kind of down and I looked at my husband and said, "Hey, you know what? I just have to turn the computer off for a second." And I just kind of like regrouped myself and put the leash on Miss Daisy, our new dog that we have, and I went out and walked to the neighborhood. And you would have thought that I hadn't lived here for the past 12 years because it was like all the neighbors came out and said, "Oh, hi, hi, it's Daisy. Oh, Daisy's getting so big." But you know what? It kind of lifted my spirits. And those are
Yeah.
the kind of things that you have to do, right? But we want you to keep the lines of communication over because we all feel the same things.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I know just anxiety is a big thing that
Yeah.
students are struggling with more now than ever before. And just to have two very competent mental health, know a lot about mental health, but medical professionals available to help students and support them, and know that when we do return, we will be safe and taken care of by people who really care about us and don't do this for the money. They're in it because they care about helping people. So that'd be wonderful.